Good morning from Doha. Today we're flying with Japan Airlines from Doha to Haneda. It's my first time flying with Japan Airlines. I'm super excited. The menu looks amazing. The seat looks great too. It's supposed to be a very nice flight. It's 11 hours, I believe, and looking forward to it. So today's flight is on the SKYSUITE 3, which is the second newest seat. But the SKYSUITE 3 is supposed to be really comfortable. In fact, the seat in business class is as narrow, if not narrower, than the economy one. That doesn't even make sense, but let's see how that turns out. So here it is, the SKYSUITE 3 on Japan Airlines. I chose seat 8A, a window bulkhead seat. This would also ensure a larger footwell, which is always something that I enjoy, but I was super excited. This is actually a new route for Japan Airlines. It used to be run by Qatar Airways, but they switched out. And I'm quite happy about that. It gives me an opportunity to try a new business class and for the same amount of miles. I think that's great, and Japanese hospitality is as good as Qatar's hospitality, so definitely something to look forward to. And a totally different amenity kit from Herabone. We'll look at that later. And around the seat, yes, they were showing a little bit of age, and when I came into the seat it did seem quite cramped, but once you're inside you feel absolutely ensconced and protected from the other people. You have lots of storage. This is basically the same as British Airways or Qatar Airways, I could say. Very similar. There are some differences which I'll point out in a bit, but here's the controller for the TV. This was actually one of the things that was quite different. You could not control the TV from the screen. You had to use this little remote, which turned out to be an absolute nightmare. But, you know, that's a small price to pay to be able to fly such a long distance. But it is definitely something that drove me crazy because it was very unresponsive, as you can see on this video. And choosing your videos here is not really that fun. It's much better to be able to use the screen, which in this case, I don't know if it's the case for all seats, but definitely mine did not work. The earphones, on the other hand, are super good quality. Sony earphones, noise cancelling, and made for Japan Airlines. The quality of the screen, though, is absolutely fantastic. Very, very high definition. It just seemed really silly that there were controls on the screen, but I couldn't use them. Here's the armrest that you can raise or lower, and this definitely makes it easier to sleep when it's at the bottom and more comfortable when it's up to sit. The seat controls are quite basic, and here's a look at one of the other seats, the middle seats. We'll look at those in a bit to see how they compare to the seat that I have, but I did find this table quite interesting, or a new way of unfolding a table. Never seen this style before, but it was really good and quite convenient. Now let's have a closer look at the seat. It's also burgundy, just like Qatar Airways. The shell extends out past your head to give you some protection from other people. Now you also have quite a decent amount of storage space, as I mentioned before. The entrance into the seat is definitely more cramped than many other seats. There is not much space to squeeze in there, but as I said before, once you're in there, you definitely feel like you're in a little pod. Even though there are no doors, it does feel very, very private. Here's a look at the middle seats, the middle bulkhead seats to be exact. Again, a much larger footwell than one of the other seats. Here's a look at the seat behind it. As you can see, it narrows towards the end and is not quite as comfortable. So if that makes a difference to you, try and get a bulkhead seat. I always do. So far, very nice welcome. Already got a glass of Prosecco or champagne, not sure. It came in this plastic cup. It was one shot, so I shotted it. And yeah, just looking forward to this flight. It'll be a long flight, so I really hope that this area here is going to be sufficient for my considerable bulk. Before I had time to really measure or wonder about that, it was already time to take off. Bye-bye to this beautiful country. Definitely going to have some more videos about the hotels here, so please follow, and yeah, I'll show you some amazing hotels in Qatar, and it's an amazing place to visit. Not sure who's interested in fishing, but I am, and this is an amazing place to go fishing. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for more content on Doha very, very soon. Once we reached cruising altitude, it was time to look at all the goodies. First things first, these very fluffy and very comfortable slippers. Definitely well padded and very good for using on the plane or at home. Next, I got this amazing Japan Airlines. It's not a pajama, it's some kind of jacket to keep you warm perhaps. Yes, I was feeling very cool in it, and it was extremely comfortable. You also get a very nice soft blanket. It's not very thick, I would say, but it did keep me warm. But yeah, it's not really a duvet, it really is a bit of a blanket rather than anything else. But still, at least it was soft. And you also get a pillow. Now the pillow itself is, yeah, a little bit measly, and luckily I was able to get a second one for sleeping. So, you know, that's something I would definitely like to see improved. Maybe triple the thickness, but again, very soft. So at least that's that. Next, let's have a look at the amenity kit. I'm not sure what kind of Viking runes or what curse from Niflheim has been written onto this thing, but it looks quite cool. Inside you'll find a sleeping mask, quite a small one. Interestingly, you have a little phone stand. I found that very, very cool. They immediately brought me a nice cold towel. That's not part of the amenity kit, but definitely a nice thing to get. You get some pocket tissue, you also get a toothbrush, and you also get some earplugs. Next, more Viking runes or other, I don't know, witchcraft or God knows what this is. But yeah, I guess that's art. And Heraboni, I think it's called Heralboni. Definitely an expensive brand apparently, never heard of them before. But the stuff was quite good quality and I did like the little bag. As you can see, I was really getting myself ready for the onslaught of delicious food that I had ordered in advance. And very, very excited. Or better said, I decided in advance. You choose on board whether you want a Western or if you want a Japanese menu, just like on ANA, but I had made my decision. Now when it comes to the drinks, you have a very, very good selection. You have a today's Japanese whiskey, which we're going to find out what it is. And next to the JL original drink, peach and grape mix. I was definitely going to try that. Sounds like a child's drink, and that's exactly what I wanted. As for the food, I definitely chose the Japanese menu. Fried chicken, tofu salad with king crab, diced beef, more beef tataki with flying fish roe, seared salmon. I mean, what a wonderful starter, to be followed by salt grilled salmon and other delicious sides. The Western menu also looked absolutely tantalizing and included grilled prawns for your starter, grilled Angus beefsteak with mashed potatoes as your main. Anyway, first up was some warm nuts, some olives and some champagne. Duval Leroy is what we were being served on this flight. It's quite nice. The nuts are, they're all right. Let me start off by saying that so far, amazing service. Everyone is smiling, happy, laughing. Flight attendant, when she said, "Oh, you speak Japanese, thank you." I thought that was really cute. Yes, one must make an effort to learn every language that one can. And so far, very excited. I'm really excited for the food. It's probably going to be really amazing. So let's wait for the starter. Guys, look at this. Look at this. There's the beef tataki. There's the salmon. There's the fried chicken with mayo, crab and flying fish eggs, and a piece of Kobe beef. I mean, really, can this be any better? Actually, it did get better. I got the SkyTime original drink presented to me like some kind of champagne. Absolutely fantastic. And let's try it out. It was surprisingly refreshing and actually very, very delicious. Peach and grape makes a good combination apparently. Next up on the Japanese menu was the salt grilled salmon. It's not always easy to make fish taste good on a plane, so I was about to find out whether this was a good choice because the Western meal would have been a US Angus steak. But this smelled absolutely spectacular and I was ready to dig in. My little packet of rice was ready and of course the little daikon radish pickles. Absolutely fantastic. And my two choices, champagne and the grape and peach drink. And as always, of course, can't forget the miso soup. All in all, this was a really delicious meal. The fish was so succulent. I had a little bit of chili to it. It was really amazing. The fish had amazing flavor and, like I said, cooked perfectly. 10 out of 10. I wish I would have also tried the Western menu, but of course, I think one menu is enough for any person. So anyone else has had the Western menu, please comment below. Now, a quick visit to the bathroom showed me that they had some special stuff here. I think it's like mouthwash and this BioGuard, just a sanitizer. And they also had some quite good quality, amenities in here. This is the business class bathroom after all. They had these very cool little Japan Airlines cups. Wish I could have taken a few of those, make some really good shot glasses. And of course, as in any Japanese airplane, a real washlet. Now, if you don't want to bother the staff, there's a little basket here where you can grab snacks, including like dried squid and biscuits and some of these GABA jellies. Apparently they make you sleep. I had 2 of those and I slept quite well. But yeah, there's lots of snacks you can have here, but there are also other snacks you can order at any time you like, which I'll show you later. But first, it's time to make that lie-flat bed. Now, although this is a very new route, it seems that the plane is not very new. Once the bed was made, you could see a lot of scuffing and some stains. Here's another look at the middle seats once again. If you're thinking that you might be able to have a bit of a romantic time while sitting in your seats, you cannot see each other pretty much, so I don't think you'll have much of a romantic experience where you can speak to each other that much, even if that little divider is down. But all in all, I was also really lucky to have a really empty business class, which meant that I was not disturbing too many people with my filming, and it was very quiet. So quiet, in fact, it was time to go to bed. I slept surprisingly well for such a supposedly narrow seat, and got at least 6 hours in and felt quite good. And I think that's because I had enough space to move my legs. Now, next was the food. More food as always, because I love food so much. Now, next was this funny garlic bread barbecue chicken sandwich. It's not like a sandwich I've ever seen, but it seems to be just chopped up chicken on bread. And this now is the real deal. This is one of the snacks that you can order, and I can tell you that this is possibly one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten in the sky. This beef and onion rice bowl, not really in a bowl, but I paired it with some Japanese whiskey and a little bit more of that grape and peach drink, and of course added some of my own chili to this delicious mix, and I can tell you that this was really delicious.
So unbelievable, you can't imagine.
Wow.
The beef is so juicy. The rice is so perfect. There's enough sauce. This is a 9. Now let's try the Yamazaki whiskey. Oh. I think I'll stick to grape and peach Fanta. Or of course the Suntory Hibiki 21 years from the ANA first class, which costs like $1,000 a bottle. That was delicious. So now I do have to say there are many things I did not expect about this flight. Number one, I thought I would be uncomfortable. In fact, I was so sure I was going to be uncomfortable that I almost changed my flight 2 days before flying to fly with ANA the room once again. But I thought it's time to try something else. So late,
so
yeah.
There were no train and no bus.
Yeah.
It's a taxi ticket.
Wow, okay.
The limit is 20,000 yen.
Okay. Unbelievably, they've given us 20,000 yen vouchers. I mean, that's not little, that's a lot of money, man. It's like 120 francs, $120, $125, something like that. It's crazy. So you get $125 for free taxi. You have to use Nihon Kotsu, that company. But this is spectacular. If I had known this, I wouldn't have bothered to book a hotel so close to the airport. I would have booked a hotel in town, because $125 is pretty crazy. Wow. Really amazed. Just another thing that makes this flight incredible. Now, as I was mentioning, there are things that I cannot believe. that, like for example, the seat. I thought it looked pretty cramped. I thought it was going to be uncomfortable. I thought I would not be able to sleep that well despite having a bulkhead. But let me tell you something. This footwell goes in so far that I think half of my body was in there. And I actually was able to stretch out completely. That means like I stretched my arm out in the Superman position. I'll show you that. And I could, and my feet basically couldn't even reach the back. I slept absolutely amazingly. So again, I was not expecting that. And yeah, well, I mean, the food, of course, I was expecting good food. The food has been spectacular. The flight attendants, wow, yeah, amazing. And in a 32-seat business class compartment, there are only 5 people, which does give you a lot more like feeling of like being alone and private, and that definitely helps to like, you know, relax and to sleep. And yeah, I mean, the icing on the cake is this like bloody $125 free taxi ticket. I think I'm going to be flying this route more often if I'm going to get this kind of treatment and this kind of like, you know, privacy. As you can see, nobody on this row. And behind me there is somebody, but after that there's like nobody around. Whatever the case, this has been an absolute resounding success. I am so, I mean, I'm amazed, as I've said before. I am very, very satisfied with my whole experience. Like, I do not regret spending 80,000 avios and like 198 francs, which is about 220 US dollars or like 170 pounds, somewhere along those lines. Amazing. From Zurich to Doha, and then a layover in Doha, and then from Doha to Haneda. Wow. I'll be doing this again for sure. Next time though, I'm going to have a longer stay in Qatar, stay in some amazing hotels there, because Qatar is also an amazing place. But right now, it's all about Japan. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next flight or the next hotel review. See you there.